So parts that we can see on the mid-sagittal cut, we can see cortex all around here. We can see the corpus callosum going across the top here. The portion of the cortex that actually wraps around the corpus callosum is known as the cingulate gyrus. The different parts of the corpus callosum include the beak here, the rostrum, the knee or genu, the body going across here, and then the bandaged part of the back, the splenium. We can also see a separate white matter tract that's bumping up against the corpus callosum, which is this guy running all the way down here, wrapping down. This is the fornix. Okay. So the fornix is going to do two things. It's going to come from the hippocampus, and it's going to go forward to this region in here, where we can't actually see anything, but the subnuclei are in there. It's also going to come down, wrap all the way back down around, and hit this guy, the mammillary bodies. So you can see a bit of the white matter tract here of the fornix. It's a slightly better example in this brain. Here we can truly see the full arch of the fornix. So starting up here, coming all the way down, wrapping all the way around, and hitting the mammillary bodies here. Okay. Let's see. What else do I need to see? Other white matter tracts we can see in this cut, just caudal to the arch of the fornix, is this tract here, which again starts at the mammillary bodies, but then goes up to the anterior nucleus of the thalamus. Okay, so this is the mammulothalamic tract. Other white matter tracts, you can see a little bit. It's probably going to be hard to make out on the cam, but if you're following the fornix down, the place where it starts to wrap around the thalamus this way, the anterior commissure is going to be in there, so you're going to look for a little white dot just as the fornix kind of reaches the apex of its arch. Okay, so in here is a little white dot, anterior commissure. The bottom structure. Okay. The bottom structure is what? The other white matter tract we can see here is the optic chiasm. Okay. So that's it for the four white matter tracts we saw: corpus callosum, fornix, anterior commissure, and mammulothalamic tract. Okay. Other structures we can see besides white matter include down the myencephalon. We can see the space between the cerebellum and the medulla is the fourth ventricle. If we move up a little bit, we can see the cerebral aqueduct. It's also carrying CSF from the third ventricle down to the fourth ventricle. The cerebral aqueduct, if we look at the top part of that, the dorsal part, we have the tectum, which is made up of the inferior colliculus and the superior colliculus. We also have the tegmentum down here. Okay. Other regions we can see the cerebellar peduncles in profile here. We can also see the pons in profile here. Okay. In the cerebellum, we have the arbor vitae, the tree of life, coming out this way. Oh, if I said cerebellar peduncle, I meant cerebral peduncle up here. Okay. And that's it for metencephalon. So then in diencephalon, we have the thalamus, this whole circle right here. Wrapping around the thalamus would be the third ventricle. We have the hypothalamus, which is defined by what it's not. So it's below the thalamus, which is a circle up here. It's not the chiasm, and it's not the cerebral peduncle. Okay, so we can draw a square delineating that it's not any of those things. So it's not chiasm, it's not thalamus, it's not cerebral peduncle. Okay. That's mammillary bodies we're seeing in profile here. That's part of the hypothalamus. And pineal body is up in this region here. So you're just going to find the splenium of the corpus callosum, drop down a little bit more ventral, and you'll find the pineal body. Okay. And in this brain, we actually do have a septum pellucidum here. If you look just ventral to this anterior portion of the corpus callosum, we have a thin membrane here, which I'm going to pierce. And underneath the septum pellucidum, we're going to have a lateral ventricle. You can split the brain open a little bit. And peek down in there is the lateral ventricle. Choroid plexus is just the substance within the lateral ventricle. I'm not seeing a huge amount of it in this brain, but if you do see a vascular structure down in the lateral ventricle, that would be choroid plexus. And we already said cingulate gyrus is wrapping around the corpus callosum. That's it.